Hello everyone, welcome back to From Picture to Build, where we turn real life photos from buildings that I visited in real life into Minecraft builds on this series broadcasted live. Hope you had fun in the last episode and sit back, relax, for this one's going to be greater. Now, let's dive into this. Last time we made these nice bow doors and these nice foliage. So what I want to do is just work on this layer and also extend this balcony because as we can see over here, it goes to the side. So all we just have to do is some of this, place one of that there, connect you with you, that there, that over there, and then let's see. So these have to be with that. And we need to use some of this. Some of these hanging signs. Let's rotate that. Place it like this. Have it like that. And all we have to do is just place another one of these and connect it with this. So then when we're ready to actually make the sides, we have that already done. We have to do really just connect it to one part and copy and paste it there. Not like that actually. Just do it from the center just so it's accurate. Flip. And we have that. Move that. Okay. Now we can start with texturing over here. Now this is really simple. There's not much shadow like over here. So what I'll do is add, I think I want to make a design possibly on this side. Now with what I have no idea. So what I'll try and do is possibly we can make, I don't know, exactly. We could try and use some block types. What we could do is, let's see what we have to use. Um, what we can do is use some shelves. We can do some of this over here to possibly get that frame look. And what I want to do is raise these. I could just raise that part like that. So we can get that like knob over here instead. And then what we can do is use this. Actually, we can use trapdoors on these. See where, yeah, those open right there. Do the same thing over here. We have that. And what we can do is maybe work in some of, we just do that. Or possibly we can do this and some fence gates. Do that. Open them like this and then lower them. We get exactly, can we connect that? Maybe if we just do it backwards, so we do it like this, that. We get a design like that. Not too bad, not too bad indeed. And we can copy this over to the other side, like so. Make sure to fill in these gaps over here. We have the designs for those two doors. Now we can work on the windows, which aren't too different. What we can do is use the same thing like we did on that one, where we use the door over here like that. Let's see, yeah, like that. And then we just add some of these, copy and paste on that side. And what we can do is the same thing we done on that one. Only thing is we just make it a smaller version. So we're to just copy and paste that. See how that would come out if we were to do that. Let's rotate you again. That's nice. And we can just do some of this and frame it down with this. Let's see how that looks compared to that. Now, we could do. I'm not sure. I think it's nice. Yeah, that we can go with that. Like that, we have them on both sides. And to be honest, we can just copy the same thing on the other sides. So we just need to copy this. Along with the doors in the background. With the sole exception of this one, where I think if we replace these with this, so we can keep the accuracy there, and instead we can do, now for that one, I think if we just keep that there, that here, what we can do is just some of this and some of that. Only thing is this is an open window, so I think what I'll do is remove these and we'll do a acacia door possibly. I think acacia would look nice if we do this with then possibly something black in the or gray at the back. So if we're to do this with some of this, you get that whole thing. But the thing is with that, there's quite a big gap between the things, and that is quite bar look. So what we'll do is use some shelves possibly. Let's see. I mean, if we just do shelves like this, that's already giving us that look we want. But the problem then is this part and that. We could just remove right from this part. And all we'd have to do is just replace it with something orange. So for this case, just do this. Actually, we can't replace that. Let's see. I mean, to be honest, if we just keep it like that, it's not too bad. Yeah, we can keep it like that, and we have to just remove these parts over here. We removed all of them before. I think that looks nice. Just would be just this. So we get that. Okay, now we can just work on the texturing. If we just put this back where it was. And we can just work on this layer over here, where we can see that we can use the bamboo over here, rather than the resin that we were using, and the dripstone will just stick to these colors. This being our highlight, I want to put the highlights at the edge over here. Yeah. So if I put highlight here, and that goes like that, then we just get like a transition into that. But then we can over here just put some splatters of this in. The darker parts, we have the mosaic, which we can use. Not sure, I think we can use the dripstone actually over here. Just for this part. We can mix in some of this. And some of this possibly, just on that part. And we could do with some of this, just like that. And I'm not sure if we have maybe some mud we can mix in to make that look good. Yes, that looks quite nice. We can now do on this side too, over here. And I want to use some of these blocks, the rest of the sulfur palette, where we can get in some of this smoother look into it, where we can get that. Looks quite nice. If we get some of this in, and we can swap out our walls for the polished ones possibly, or actually I think this might look better. Yeah, now it is not looking too bad. My only concern is that the windows are looking a um little bulky compared to the actual walls in the picture. Not sure we keep them like that, but for now, I'm thinking it looks nice. What we can do is now work on that part. So I think there's like a slash across it. We'll do some of this, possibly get some of this, and work with that around this. If we actually open reference image. Actually, that's gonna crash something. See, I can just keep it like that for now. We can come over here. On this side, it reaches down, and we can put some over here. And then blend it in with our bars. that we did before. Like that. Like that. And I think if we just add some of the darker blocks over here, some of these, I think we'd get a nice look at a fully textured part, and we can just finish this out with possibly some of this as a gradient over here. And if we can just replace this like this, maybe where there's a little bit more light, we have the transition into that. And we can put some, let's see, what's best to do. Transition this. We could just use some glass if we could over here. So we can get like that. Maybe brown actually. Too light. So what we could to use is this transition. That's not too bad, yes. And then we can use some of this to transition into that and keep at the soul sand. So we have that all fully transitioned. And one thing I did forget to make is this door over here, which is just, you can copy that into here. Well, the thing is this is at an even. So what we can do is, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Copy that back. Just the mess behind here. It's always funny to look at the back of a build when it's not finished, but I think if we keep it like this and then we put maybe something like, if we put a full door here, just like that, and then, not sure, could use some of this and just maybe just a bit of that. I think that might be good. And we can just copy from this to here, minus all of these. And I think like that we have a good facade. I hope you all had a nice time, and I hope you all liked the stream. The build is coming together. We have some nice texture. We worked on the windows, a small window detail over here. We have fixed the balcony over here, made the texture for the roof, and this is the brown part. I hope you all had a nice time. There's more streams for the future, so tune in for more. And I hope you all had a blast. See you in the next one.